Okay, so another update. I'm actually on the GH5 right now. This is all handheld, just a built-in IBIS. And I have the SLR Magic 8mm. It's a manual focus lens, and surprisingly, it focuses really, really close. I'll go into more later on why I decided to get rid of the ZV-E10. It mostly had to do with color. And the crop factor on that thing is terrible. Just, I couldn't deal with it anymore. So, I got a really good deal on a used GH5, so hopefully we'll see how well this works out. Hi, dear. Okay, bye, dear. Man, you can get super close with this wide 8mm lens. Like, super close. It gets ridiculous how close you can get. Like, I'm almost touching that freaking flower and it's focusing. Okay, so hopefully this is a lot better test than what I was doing before. So I had just got the GH5 and we had went out to a local lake / park thing, and I was recording with the Saramonic V-Mic Mini, and I noticed there was like some clicking. Well, at first I recorded with the built-in microphones, and actually I'm surprised more people don't talk about it. The built-in mics on the GH5 actually sound pretty good. As far as a lot of mics that I've heard, they sound some of the best, you know, built-in microphones. But I was recording with that first, and then I recorded with the Saramonic. The problem was that there was like a clicking, and what I found out is that one of the side mounts where you would attach like a camera strap, it was loose. So I'm gonna have to like get some epoxy or something and put it in there and try and tighten it up, because there's not a easy way to take this camera apart. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm kind of in really bright light right now. I don't see any zebras on the camera, so that's good. I'm at 800th of a second ISO 200 using the SLR Magic lens, the 8mm lens. So what I was saying in that video is I was going to be, now there's some zebras because I was pointing at the sun, but what I was saying in that video is that I was going to be recording some vlog style. Actually, let me back up after this plane passes. Okay, so I had the ZV-E10, which I thought was going to be a good camera or situation to record with, and it was a good camera. The problem was that it just didn't really, it had really weird color, and it was very hard to correct in post. And it just, I just didn't like the color that came out of it, between the color and the crop factor. So like shooting in 4K 30, and when you had image stabilization on, it was almost like a 2.1x crop on top of the already cropped sensor. I don't have a problem with the crop sensor. I have a problem when they crop the already cropped sensor, which the GH5 has full-time IBIS, or you can turn it on to have full-time IBIS, and unless you use the added electronic stabilization, there's not a crop, which is what I'm using right now. I just have regular IBIS. I don't have the the electronic stabilization turned on, because it adds kind of the warpy stuff in the corners. But so here was my theory. yes, the focus on the ZV-E10 was absolutely outstanding. It's like, Sony has the best autofocus, period. I can deal with not very good autofocus if everything else is working good. What I decided is if I got the 8mm, because it has a wide area of focus, you can zoom in really quick before you record. You can zoom in, focus on your face, hit record, and as long as you keep the same arm length, or if there's a little give here and there, as long as you keep a good arm distance away, your face is always going to be in focus. And most people want wide angle when they're recording with, if they're vlogging anyways, to see everything that's around you. So I figured that's what I'm going to do. I'll slap the 8mm on here whenever I'm doing the vlog, and then I will record other stuff, with other lenses. So I'll just have to get like a telephoto zoom lens for, nature and stuff like that. What else what else was I gonna say? So I know it's kind of weird because I had the Panasonic S5, which, let me adjust the exposure here. Yeah, I had the Panasonic S5. It was a good camera. It was just, I was like, the autofocus isn't that great. And on top of that, it was using L-mount, which I don't really have a problem with L-mount lenses like the Sigmas and all of that and the Leicas. It's just, to get a good system of lenses on L-mount, it was going to be really expensive. I kind of knew that when I got it, but then I was like, well, I'll just try and use manual focus lenses and adapters. And the kit lens that comes with the S5 is really good. But between that and then the autofocus, I was like, maybe I'll try something else. So I sold that to get the ZV-E10 because everyone was saying, Sony autofocus is spectacular. And then once I got it, there's some other things that were on that camera that just kind of, all of the cons to me on that all of the cons on that camera outweighed the pros. So with the ZV-E10, it was all, the battery life was not great. The colors to me, they weren't terrible. It's just, I don't know what it was. Like, I tried overexposing, I tried underexposing on S-Log, I tried S-Log 2, S-Log 3. HLG, it was good. I don't have a problem with HLG. The problem with the HLG is that it's kind of pointless if you're using the 709 color profile, and then once you use the 2020 color profile for HDR, you got to go through a lot of hassle, and then once you upload it to YouTube, it looks like crap. It looks worse than if you were to upload it into 709, and I did that on one of my update videos. So I had to re-encode it to ProRes, upload it to YouTube, and then it would actually finally start working in HDR. But I live in mostly rural Texas, and our internet sucks, and I can't upload 40-50 gigabyte files to YouTube. It's just not an option, at least, this, which really sucks. I mean, it's freaking 2022 and we don't have decent internet. Like, it's okay. Anyway, so yeah, I'm recording on the GH5 now. Like I said, I've got the 8mm. I think this is going to be a good system for a little while. I may end up selling it way on down the line. I don't know. Maybe I'll end up keeping it. It's kind of what I do now. So, and I want to see how well that looks if I see there's a sun behind me, how well it exposes. I do got some zebras there. Turn up the exposure. Like, I still got zebras, but I'm pointing into the sun. And for those of you that don't know, the zebras, what I'm talking about is when you're recording, the zebras show up on your camera, which means that that's your overexposed highlight area. So, there's a bug on my glasses. Yeah, I'm gonna, in this part here, I'm gonna review this part. Maybe I'll record some later in the shed and kind of review this, make sure the audio sounds good, because I did record all of this when we went to the park yesterday, but the microphone, I don't know what the heck happened, it just did not sound very good. So yeah, I like the stabilization on here. I think this is gonna be a good camera. I know I say that every single time I get a camera, but just the exposure. I'm just stuffing in that pile. So yeah, yeah, I'm gonna end this little part right here. So cool.